YouTube, Twitter, Nigeria, Info FM. We've got a great show for you today. We're starting with the big three: Customs and the Army raids shops in Yaba and confiscate bales of second-hand clothing. Lagos State government demolishes illegal structures in Marwa, Lekki, and starts reconstructing high-traffic junctions. And NAS members deny knowledge of 37 billion naira renovation, while Governor Wike gives Rivers legislators cars for passing state budget. I told you we've got a great show for you today. What's on the last checkpoint of 2019, Agogo?
Yeah, we're going to have a look at the big events around security, but this time focusing on Lagos. A week earlier, we'd done the national story, but this time around it will be with Lagos State. A lot of security stories and breaches, and maybe lessons have been learned or not. We'll find out from 4 p.m.
And then on the big hard fact today.
Voila. We're going to go through all of the big stories.
My God.
And just like we did with Global Review, from your perspective. But so many stories happened this year. And believe it or not, sometimes I just go through the list. Sandra and I going through, and I'm sure that I saw that list more than half last year too. And if I brought a paper, a daily from 1985, those stories will still be there, but just
probably be there.
Different actors most likely.
And we'll look at that today at 5. As usual, all the news stories that you are expecting from the world of news, sports, entertainment will be brought to you by our newsroom, and we will hand you over to Rufai Useni for conversations with Rufai immediately after the news at 6. That's happening at 6:15. But right now, let's get right into the big three.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect on the big three. Stories that everyone is talking about right now. Should importing second-hand clothes be illegal? How is Sanwo-Olu doing as far as traffic is concerned? Are federal and state legislators too easily influenced by largesse from the executive? Let's get into these stories. Personnel of the Customs Service and the Army have raided shops in Yaba and confiscated bales of second-hand clothing. Videos surfaced on the internet over the weekend of trucks filled with the seized goods being driven out of the area by the uniformed personnel. Today, Nigerian Info's news team went down to Yaba to get first-hand accounts, and some of the affected shop owners spoke with our reporter, Good News Ndukwe. He made it known that most of their colleagues were out of town for the Christmas period when this raid happened. Some of the respondents told us that while this was not the first time these types of raids had occurred, it was the first time that it happened on a Sunday while shops were closed, which meant that the business owners were not around. We're still working on getting a response from the Customs or the Army, Agogo.
Yeah, and we may not likely get anything from them as we approach the new year. But it's something that probably could have been avoided. So we have seen scoops like this happen in the past, maybe not directly linked with, the seizing of second-hand goods or contraband items. But the fact that we didn't get any forewarning is a big story. And the fact that there is no explanation how this happened over the weekend also to add some more dimension to this story. So, like several other stories, we'll probably be looking at into like the second story, which is into demolition of illegal infrastructure and all of those sort of things. Has to be a human face in how these things have applied, which has always been the argument many times. Yes, people have done wrong, but if you're going to enforce the law, sometimes you would need to have human face, with it. And we've seen the repercussions of not taking this into account, especially I think it was 2012 when we had the fuel price hike happening, taking people unaware during the Christmas holiday, and people were stuck in their hometowns only to come home and find out that if they could make it eventually, because the price of transport fares soared. So, big question here. This raid that happened, the fact that we don't have any statement, the fact that they didn't talk to anyone at all, the fact that we're still left grappling in the dark for what exactly happened makes things a lot worse. And we probably will not be able to understand the volume of things that were taken away on the cost and the estimate. I thought probably if you had something like that go on, there should have been witnesses on both sides. So someone will come up tomorrow and say, you took millions of naira worth of items from my shop, and even if you had a warrant to go in first instance, you should have been with the people around the area. Some sort of human face and human look into what is going on is what I thought.
Well, Good News Ndukwe spoke with some people at the market, and here's what they said.
Custom came to our shop on Saturday by 8 p.m. in the evening, and they broke our shop. They broke our door. They broke our cupboard, and they packed all the goods that were inside our shop. Packed 113 bills. That is what they take from our shop. And they broke all the doors to enter into our shop.
Could count up to 3 to 4, 5 shops that were broken, not just here, within the market, and then they carted away with some people's goods. Many persons, for those who are not around, who have traveled for the Utah season and all those, their goods are being carted away. Over 10 trucks came into the market and they were fully loaded with goods.
I left my friend inside my shop, so I went to Lagos Island to pick some things. So on my way coming back, I saw his call. He called me, say, "Oh boy, there's a problem." I said, "What happened?" Say, "Custom is there. They have arrested him." I was short of words. I didn't even know what to say. So I have to pick by from where I was to rush down here. So when I came here, I saw where people, soldier, custom, immigration, and the rest of them. All of them were here, were armed, and they were chasing people away. So I was even trying to go in. So my friend asked me not to go now. I should cool down, as in let them calm down first, then before I now approach them. We gathered there, we were looking at them. They were just there. I was following one of them as if someone was directing them where to. So the man was answering call. The person that was calling, he said, after the one hotel there, there's one empty place. You will see one gate there. So when the guy got there, he said, "I have seen the place." He hit his leg on that gate. The gate was locked. He has to jump inside the compound. And when he jumped inside the compound, some of his colleagues followed him, and some of the soldiers, they followed him. So they now jumped in and broke the gate. So they started packing loaf. Okay, they left that place to another place. There's a beer parlor inside that place. It's inside someone's compound already. The man that owns the place was there. So when they came, the man said, "What is the problem? This is my compound." All of a sudden, they started breaking the door. The door took them some hours before they could break it. So after breaking it, they now called their truck to come. They packed everything that was inside that. After packing that one, they now go to another shop. They broke up to like 5 shops and pack all the goods. And the owners of those shops are not around. They all have traveled.
Eyewitness account of one of the people who was affected by the raid over the weekend. You know, the first thing that jumped out at me about this story is the presence of the army. We're fighting insurgents in the northeast, right? And there have been complaints from within the government that the army needs more hands there. Yet here we find soldiers being used to confiscate goods from empty shops on a Sunday. I mean, there's no national security threat from clothes. The Customs Service could surely have done this raid without the Army's help. So it makes one wonder about how efficiently the Army's resources are being used. Now, let's point out that the importation of second-hand clothing is banned. As such, by the law, Customs has the right to seize second-hand clothing at border posts or at the ports. The Customs will argue that they also have a right to seize second-hand goods that have successfully been smuggled in and are now in shops, of course. But there's a counter-argument to that. The owners of those bales can ask Customs to prove that these particular bales of clothes were, number one, imported, number two, imported after the ban, because remember, if they were imported before the ban and were in storage, it's entirely legal to have them. And then this brings us to the issue. This brings up the issue of the raids being done on a Sunday during Christmas. Some of the traders are arguing that they did not have a chance to plead their case. They did not have a chance to identify their goods being confiscated. And like I said, how do you do that if the trader can simply come out tomorrow and sue the government and say, "Hey, you took my goods worth 10 million naira"? What's your defense going to be at that time?
Yeah. So big problem here also too is the place of the law in how this has happened. I'm still trying to find, maybe someone will help us out with any existing law that allows the customs or armed operatives break into private property without getting something from the courts which authorizes them to get into a place. Because I know as a civilian, if you did that, you will be
Charged.
Yeah, it's a
For
criminal
burglary.
burglary,
Breaking and entry.
breaking and entry. Yes, so that's what will happen if you don't get something from the court. So those are issues, and since it's happened before, I was hoping that maybe the customs or will explain, and then the reason why they had the military there in the first instance. Did they have information that they had some weapons being stored somewhere? But now and again you see the military appear in odd spaces because of increased pressure on the security locally. So you have hybrid policemen, LASMA, and soldiers in Lagos. Several of them you find in the major highways and in major neighborhoods also too. So there you have it.
And there's another question to be asked. Should second-hand clothes be banned in the first place? Does the market for them not exist because many Nigerians cannot afford new clothes? What do you think about the army being involved in this civilian affair? 012770993, 012771993, 012772993, 012773993. Share your thoughts with us via Facebook as well. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. That's Facebook. We'll take a comment off of it. Nigeria Info 99.3. Or send us a WhatsApp message. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. WhatsApp again is 080 959 75805. But if you simply want to call in, call us on 01 277 0993 1993 2993 and 3993. And yes, that number 0993 is for our female callers. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Welcome to the show. What's your name? Am I welcome? Go ahead.
Sandra, the more we look at this long rope, it's looking like a snake. I said everything rises and falls on leadership. This government, when I criticize them, not because I have anything personal. See, I give them if in good intention, was zero for execution. How do you shave a man's head in that sense? This is if they also use security parasitos to legitimize what you call the burglary. Let's call it spade a spade. Do you understand? If you have a case against them, you serve them a court injunction. Do you understand? First, it's an indictment on your own incompetence that you failed to stop anything at the borders. Now you are coming to claim without proof that you're already casting judgment on the traders, saying that that's already illegal. Do you understand? Why don't you allow a court to do that? When everything happens at the center, we say all these things are cascading. That's the why we criticize day and night. This is not fair. This is their Christmas gift to Nigerians, and you want them to pay the law, and you want them to be law-abiding. Who does that?
All right, MI. Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Please go ahead.
Yes, this is I Square.
All right, I Square. Good, I Square. Please go on.
Okay. I think it's so unfortunate for somebody in form of security camouflage to enter into somebody's shop with force. I think it's totally out of the law. And I think the people or the business people involved, they should gather themselves together and take them to court. Because we cannot continue to move in this reckless manner. It's totally out of the law. So I think the people should gather themselves, take them to court, because it's a criminal. There's no way you could just, pick somebody's head. Then what were you doing at the border that you could not stop it? It is totally indictment. I think it's criminal act, and there must be pursuit to just deal with them, so that this kind of thing will not happen again.
All right, that's great. Thanks for calling. We'll take more of your thoughts after this break. We'll move on to our second story after the break. But when you call us, you can still talk about the first story. You're listening to the Big Three on Hard Facts. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Agogo Obo.
Stay right here on the Big Three on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three on Hard Facts
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
You know what to expect from the big three stories that everyone is talking about right now. Should importing second-hand clothes be illegal? How is Sanwo-Olu doing in traffic, on traffic, about the traffic situation in Lagos? This is because the Lagos State government has continued its attempt to ease traffic in the city by demolishing over 2,500 illegal structures in Marawa, Lekki. The task force claims that structures were obstructing the path of the proposed coastal highway, which is meant to be an alternative to the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway. The task force said it gave the occupants of the illegal structures 8 days grace to evacuate, which expired last Thursday. In another move to improve traffic, the state government has started the planned reconstruction of 60 junctions identified as major traffic bottleneck. Work has begun on 4 of the 60 junctions. They are Ikotun, Allen, Maryland, and 2nd Lekki roundabouts. The reconstruction work will include converting these junctions from roundabouts into intersections, adding dedicated lanes for left and right turns, and installing traffic lights. Agogo, I'm still somehow a newcomer to Lagos. Can you tell me the history of the second roundabout in Lekki? You know, was it always a roundabout?
There was never any roundabout there. So
I
they
see.
had first roundabout, second roundabout, third roundabout, fourth roundabout. Because so the argument has started again online. I was listening to reading a lot of funny comments.
Okay.
Because when they put up the toll gate, the plan, according to the state governor then, Babatunde Fashola, was that they will have a coastal road. So if you don't want to go through the toll gate, you go through the coastal road as an alternative to going through
The toll
Ekpe
gate.
the Ekpe Expressway toll gate. And there were 3 toll gates. Only one has come into effect because the second one is mired in controversy. And the Wahala with the first toll gate meant protest, and the protest, bad blood and all of that. So they suspended that one. So the problem now is this shanties being destroyed along the coastal road to create the right of way so that they can have that coastal road happen. Is there wherewithal now available to deal with this? Is the argument I've seen. The other argument I've heard, and I know it's neither here nor there, is the argument about having roundabouts. People had argued in the past that won't solve the problem, that they should have put highways, put bridges rather than the roundabouts to solve the problem. But the argument, even in the planning circles, the argument for roundabouts is, in the UK, you've got traffic lights now within the roundabout. But the argument around the Lekki Expressway is what most planners have argued about, the linear development along that road. All the settlements don't have access roads connecting in and out. So if you get in there, whether you have traffic lights, which unfortunately people have witnessed in the last couple of... I had the misfortune of being around that area the last couple of days. I now saw what people are going through, the hell.
You're welcome.
Each Saturday, Sunday, even yesterday, it was hell just moving around because of all this. Traffic lights. Last man worked all through the night on Saturday, Friday, and Sunday. Impressive, but they're relying on traffic lights when the volume of traffic exceeds the use of traffic lights there. So if they destroy the roundabout like they've destroyed some other roundabout, whether it will solve the problem, maybe. But people have also said it's the first bold attempt by the government in dealing with the traffic problem, especially on the island.
You know, roundabouts are such a huge challenge when it comes to traffic management. Junctions themselves, they're usually the main challenge.
In fact, in school, when I designed the master plan, I never used the roundabout. I would just really walk with a Y junction or T junction. I ran away from roundabouts.
And you know that in better planned cities, Agogo, major highways like Lekki-Ekpe Expressway do not have roundabouts, but they also don't have intersections with traffic lights. Instead, what you see are exit lanes and flyovers. Basically, somebody taking a right turn off an expressway will not block traffic. It's the left turns across traffic that cause the problem. But if you make it so that the person who wants to turn left first turns right off the highway and then uses a flyover to cross the highway, you eliminate traffic blockage completely. The reasons we haven't done that are because it takes more organization, more seriousness, more money to build a freeway with flyover exits. And as for the demolition of the structures, I mean, the fact that the structures are illegal means nobody who is affected may have much room to complain. However, there's also the question I always ask: how were the illegal structures permitted to go up and remain up for this long? Who in government was responsible for preventing it but turned a blind eye? Who was collecting bribes from the illegal squatters this whole time? These are the questions that need to be asked and answered so that we don't keep having these same situations occur.
And unfortunately, none of them is going to get compensated because the law doesn't provide compensation for people who stayed.
You were there illegally, so...
Yeah, occupying
who's
land
going to
illegally.
compensate you for being there illegally?
So
But
that's
hey,
the
let's
problem,
ask if you think these roundabouts, changing them to flyovers will help the traffic
and they've
situation.
also extended the so that people on the mainland too know they want to take out the roundabout at Allen. I don't know how that will help.
Ikotun as well.
Ikotun as well. Somebody said, "Oh my God,
Maryland.
Ikotun was just put up recently," and Maryland. But the problem with the mainland is still also the problem of congestion. If you spread development and have like let me not talk planning theory here, but a multi-nuclei system where you have the CBDs exist in other areas rather than have them in just two pole areas, which is at the Marina or the Victoria Island here, and on the mainland, which is the Keja, extending towards Alausa. Have something at Ikorodu, have something at Badagry, so that you can spread development that way. It would also help in moving the traffic to areas where we don't have, and maybe move development. Interestingly, I didn't see any talk about the rail line, which is also key to helping resolve a lot of the traffic on the expressway.
Do you believe that the proposed coastal road will improve Lekki traffic? Which other roads or new roads do you want government to work on? We'd like to hear from you. And do you think the government will ever change all the junctions on our highways to flyover exits like it is in Abuja? Why do we keep having illegal structures? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. And yes, when you call and you want to comment on the first story, go ahead. Because on that story, we're asking if second-hand clothes should be banned in the first place. Does the market for second-hand clothes not exist because Nigerians cannot afford new clothes? And what do you think about the army being involved in this particular civilian affair? Talk about that. Talk about our second story. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Please go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Oluwafemi. I'm calling you from Crossfire, Lagos.
All right, Oluwafemi.
How do you feel about your roundabouts being targeted?
The thing is, I think it's going to be okay because the roundabout is always so fit every day. Every blessed morning and every blessed afternoon, evening, anytime you come around there. I don't know. I think from what I see, I think it's quite deliberate because you have the last mile officials, you have the police and traffic warden and so forth, and you have lots of people, agencies there, but still there's still traffic. You understand? But there was, I think, early this year, or I think middle of this year, the vice president was coming to Ijegun, and let me bust you. You know these guys did? Within 5 minutes, that place was empty. I was coming from the house.
You should be asking where did they go to?
I was coming from the house. Like, I wanted to buy something and because I wanted to fix a phone. So I was like, is it not the same because phone roundabout that I come to every day and it's always crowded? And like, where did these tricycles, the buses, where did it disappear to? You understand? That's the salient question I was asking my friend. I was thinking like, where did they go to? And after Yemi Shibanjo was done with his business at that particular place, it didn't take up to like 5 minutes. All of them disappeared there again. You understand?
So
Same thing with the Apapa issue.
Good,
go
ahead.
When Buhari or so that was having a something there also. The same thing happened. 5 minutes they all disappeared. And 5 minutes again do it. The thing is, it's quite deliberate. So I don't understand. This is totally evil. You understand? And secondly, going back to the first issue you guys were talking about, Nigeria cannot afford all these new designers. You can't afford all those luxurious brands. And you want to take away the second-hand clothes. How do you want to keep impoverishing the people more and more? The average Nigerian lives according to like $2 per day. And you're expecting to buy a luxurious item for like almost like $100 or $50 or $40. How do you expect them to get that? All these jeans are meant for, but there are bottle jeans that people should be taking for. You have them in sachets. How can you be selling? You buy jeans of sachets of jeans for 50 naira, 30 naira, 20 naira. What goes? I don't have any stock in the world. But because the low purchasing power of the individuals, you have to make those sachets available for them because if you don't have them, they won't have anything to buy. So I think the issue of the soldiers coming into play, I don't know, is there a war or is it terrorism going somewhere?
Good question.
I don't understand. All our security agencies are being bastardized. Just like when we were having a robbery attack in Abuja yesterday, or day for yesterday, and the army was getting involved in robbery. I don't know how to work of the special anti-robbery squad again. But if they see alleged Yahoo boys on the road, to pick them and start searching their phones, and start infringing on their fundamental human rights, you see them there. But if those dogs go and look at robbery cases, you won't find them there.
Oluwafemi, thanks for calling to share your thoughts. We've got WhatsApp messages, yes?
We got a couple of them. Let's run through some of them. Odiaka from Songwater in Ogun State says, where was the customs when the goods they supposedly banned came into the country? This is misplaced work ethics on the side of the government. Bazwai says they should go to court, let them form a group and fight back. He's talking about the traders whose goods were taken away. The immigration office have failed in doing their job, which is the proper policing of the borders against smuggling okrika.
It's actually derogatory to say okrika. Okrika, people hate it when you say okrika.
Exactly, you know.
It's better to say second-hand clothes.
Yeah, they're only trying to damage control methods, which often result to in this part of the world after we have failed in doing our duties. Femi the Great Pundit. Paul from Barawa Yanopaja says, I really want to do it. I really want to, if this second-hand clothes didn't pass through the customs, or even if they are smuggled, as there are no customs official to confiscate them. It's a big indictment, he says, on the part of customs. Unfortunate. We should not complain the way we are being maltreated our side of our country, because in our country our government makes life difficult for us. James in Victoria Island.
Okay, let's take a few more calls. Our numbers are 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. If you'd rather send us a WhatsApp message, WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. And of course, there's Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Hello.
Hello, good day, afternoon, or good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Okay, good evening. My name is Olumuyiwa.
Olumuyiwa, welcome. Go ahead.
First and foremost, why do we have government that we just be sleeping until some people are living somewhere on their own? Then government will now wake up one day and say those that are living on their own in that place, go and demolish all their house and let us make that place a road. Why are government sleeping in the first place? And then they now demolish life. The last one I wanted to discuss is this. We all know that in Lagos State, all of us, because we want to run away from traffic, we open our eyes early in the morning and go out around 5, 6. So we all go out to work the same time. We come back the same time. Then now we have water. This lagoon have used boat from Ajaye to Quadry before. So if government now want to think about solving this traffic, why are they not make this water useful? 1, 2, I wanted to just do one thing. I need to come to Secretariat from Ajaye. Why are they not have branches all over Lagos? Some people, they are staying in Songo until they get to their local government. They can't get a particular government. So why are government don't put everything in Ikeja Central? Why are they not making life easy for people? They are the ones that are causing no job. They give us BRT today. Ordinary man like me cannot even enter the BRT because the seat is even dirty than my clothes. So if they want to solve the problem of the transport, let them provide amenities, infrastructure like transportation. Water is there, they are doing nothing. They sell railway, they are doing nothing. Then they are now going to demolish life. After they demolish people's life now, we will now send 20 million, 50 million.
Your concern about how clean your clothes will be if you enter the BRT is even great. At least it's mild. Some people don't even have the BRT access their neighborhood since 2005. Though if you leave beyond Mile 2, I don't think you can get BRT heading towards Okoko and the Badagry area. So,
well, let's move on to our final story. Yes, you can talk about all three stories when you eventually give us a call. Some federal lawmakers are coming out to say that they are unaware of the addition of 37 billion naira to the budget for renovation of the National Assembly complex. They include Aki Alabi from Egbedaona area federal constituency, Oyo State, Lego Idabo from Bekwara or Baliku and Obudu federal constituency, Cross River State, and Bamidele Salam representing Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore, and Ejibo federal constituency. All three have said they oppose the addition because it was not in the best interests of the Nigerian people. When asked why he was only expressing his opposition on social media after the expenditure had been voted on in the House, Alabi said that the line item was not debated on the House floor and he was not aware of it before the passage. Salam has vowed to speak against the cost of the renovation when the House resumes in January, which of course will be too late since the budget has passed. Elsewhere, several citizens and civil society organizations have filed a lawsuit to stop the executive from releasing the money for the renovation. Serap, Budget, EIE are leading the suit filed at the Federal High Court. The suit claims that the spending of 37 billion naira on the National Assembly complex is not in the interests of the nation and calls for an impact assessment on the spending to be done. That lawsuit sounds like a long shot. What do you think?
You know the story and the other story about the demolition of structure for squatters, and they have some thread, which is urban renewal. But this one urban renewal for the National Assembly is a very expensive urban renewal for just a handsome 100 number of lawmakers who are having their offices and complexes renovated. Which, unfortunately, if the other guys on the other side had those sort of luxury in the way where they were staying, they probably would never have been squatters in the first instance. So they put out that story. And another thing I've heard people ask them also, now that you know, will you be willing to enjoy the fruits of this labor? When it happens, so you get your left. Many of them in the past also said they had no idea when they were going into the house. They got a running cost of 14 million naira and then kept quiet afterwards. Well, when the alert began to drop in every month. But the question also too for them, so Budget and Serap will carry on. I'm sure they put us already in the know about how they intend to go around this one and how this will. Unfortunately, I don't want to wait for the year of 2020 and see that this is just one of the stories that just happened and they moved on and had the renovation happen. And then another budget year will come and another renovation will happen. And it still goes back to the question about making the budget for the National Assembly more transparent and then for it to be scrutinized like all the other MDAs go through. And this will be seen because every time, even when Bukola Saraki did put it in the open, it was a block that was put forward, not a line-by-line scrutiny. And then the question was, who's going to scrutinize the National Assembly's budget?
Yeah.
Will they do it themselves or will...
Will turkeys vote for Christmas or Thanksgiving? No, they will not. Chickens cannot vote for Christmas.
The National Assembly Committee on Appropriation will look into the National Assembly's budget.
I don't know, but I saw Aki Alabi of the House of Representatives tweeting about the 37 billion naira. I live on Twitter. If you know me, you know this. So when other people on Twitter asked him why he did not oppose it on the House floor, and he said that it wasn't debated on the House floor, I had to raise my eyebrows. The budget is supposed to be debated on the House floor. If the members of the House voted for the budget without debating it, then they failed in their basic job. But let's say that Alabi is saying they debated the budget, but nobody brought up the 37 billion in particular. Then why didn't Alabi bring it up himself? Why didn't Idabo or Salam bring it up? Did they not read the budget before debating and voting? And that's an important point because it takes me back to what some PDP senators were complaining about. They said Senate President Lawan was not allowing them to see the full text of the budget before voting and that this was not normal. So my question is, did both chambers of the National Assembly really just vote on a budget they did not see without protesting? Or are they just trying to distance themselves from this 37 billion because the public is angry? Either way, it doesn't look good. So we'll ask you what you think. Are you satisfied with Alabi's answer that the 37 billion naira renovation wasn't debated? Do you believe Salam's promise to raise the matter in January? Do you think it will solve anything? What is your opinion about the members of the House complaining to us on social media about this? Because that's where they're complaining on Twitter. 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. And yes, you can talk about all the stories on the big three today. We're asking if importing second-hand clothes should be illegal in the first place. How is Sanwo-Olu doing on traffic? And by the way, something happened in River State where lawmakers were giving SUVs one day after the budget was passed. And we're curious if you think that federal and state legislators are too easily influenced by largesse from the executive. Hello.
Hello, Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is Remy.
Oh, Remy, please go on.
Yeah. I saw the tweet from the three lawmakers. And the conclusion, even to them, because the Salami engaged my tweet, I said I still don't believe the three of them.
Okay.
As I believe they all belong to the same WhatsApp group. Okay. How come you guys woke up the same day, sent the same, almost the same tweet, of which this case had been on close to a month? So were you guys so far away from your Twitter handle that you could have tweeted that the same day that thing came out? You guys never did that. All of a sudden, Serap and some other bodies filed a suit. Then all of a sudden, you guys are now distancing yourself from it. What stopped you from day one? If truly the Akanlabi and his goons are truly saying the truth, why can't they use their Twitter and do them? Why now? I don't believe them, bro. I don't.
Doesn't believe them, he says. Okay. We've got messages on WhatsApp as well. You can send us a message on WhatsApp if you want to. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Hello. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Hello.
Sandra, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, sir?
My name is Maxwell.
Go ahead, Maxwell.
Anyway, I want to comment on the demolition of over 2,500
illegal structures. Go ahead.
I walk around there.
Okay.
That is my workplace.
Okay.
So ordinarily, to allow those structures is a serious security breach.
Okay.
Because of the way the people there turn that place. In fact, if there is any name better than or worse than ghetto, it should be given to that place. One will appropriately say it is a kind of Sodom because of the kind of things going on at that place.
Okay.
I mean, so no government should allow such things to exist. People that don't do something, the boys are not doing anything. The girls, you don't know whatever they get and not over the. I mean, there's no type of crime going on there. And people are living around there, how they are seeing those things. Their lives are danger. So I'm saying because that is my place of work. In fact, the thing myself, I was affected because I do business around there.
Okay.
But somehow I am happy such people. In fact, it is not, I think it is not, there are some people that you don't know their mentality. True, there's no job. True, we have unemployment problem. But yeah, it doesn't matter. There are some that we ourselves allow ourselves. You know, the way we live our lives, the little you get, either by driving keke or okada, you now come back and spend hours to take in their hemp and all that. I mean, you don't bother again for the rest of the day. After we blame government for everything. I think demolition. That's what I want to say.
Thanks for calling us. Demolition is a welcome development, he says. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, the Jackward you call where they just destroy, that's not the issue. If you pursue people, you build the road.
Okay.
Understand? We will be happy.
Right.
I bet you the next this government will finish in 4 or 8 years, they will abandon that place. It happened in Alakpere, somewhere in Ketu. One local government place pursue people out, although what they are doing legal things there. It takes 10 years. I know if I structure there, nothing. They just destroy the place, pursue people, abandon the place. If they will build the alternative road over there, I know the place. That place is designed for alternative road, right from Via. That's where the road is supposed to take. It also continue from Among the Bellows straight down to Ekpe. That's where the road was to pass.
Mm-hmm.
If you pursue people, start before March, February, start job, start building road there. Let me say you abandon the place, people start coming back there.
To come and
I know
build
this is
again.
our brother from the north who is calling Stay Baba, Stay Baba. God don't catch them.
Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir. What's your name?
My name is Akin.
Akin, welcome.
Yeah, I want to start with Akin Alabi distancing himself.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the timing. You know, the important thing is that the idea won't fly.
Okay.
That's what matters.
Okay.
Now, to the shops, the broken shops at Yaba, those people there, they have a body. And I think they pay some kind of levy. So they should take this issue to court.
Okay.
We are learned now. We are more informed.
I don't hear.
Our eye don't clear. So we should take this thing to court. And I believe if they should start, other people will start having that lever to take issues up. You understand? So the third one about the road, traffic in Lagos now demons they cut out. There's nothing I don't know because I just believe there's nothing you can do to stop traffic in Lagos because the major problem is not the road. The major problems are the drivers, the Okada riders. Like today, I was going to Abulegba, and do you know that somebody stopped in the middle of the road because he wanted to buy drink?
Wow.
You understand?
In the middle of the road?
In the middle of the road.
Okay.
She wanted to buy drink and she stopped her car there. You understand?
Well, she didn't want the hawker to run.
I don't understand.
And no, she was considerate. She didn't want the hawker to run.
She didn't want.
I hate it when the hawkers run like that.
Okay, you do that.
I'm not saying I do that. I'm just saying that I don't like making the hawkers run.
So the problem is we are the problem. It's not the road. If you expand the road and we don't change our driving our ways, it's still going to the same thing.
Thanks for calling to share your thoughts. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Let's take WhatsApp messages.
Yeah, a lot of comments on WhatsApp. Raising an alarm after the budget has already been passed and signed into law means they're useless to their constituents, just like the rest. Because when 2020 budget was debated on the floor of the House, we never read nor saw you speak against the 37 billion. Kelvin from Shasha. Femi, the great pundit, is having an all right go at Akin Alabi on his comments about lawmakers' salaries and their colleagues. All right, maybe you guys go on social media and sort yourselves out. The lawmakers lied. We refuse to be fooled. Jonathan from Magboro. Isn't it a shame that after 1960 we still complain about bad roads, water and electricity, but some lawmakers want to use 37 billion naira for renovation? We're not ready. Dare Olubi from Ogun State. Nigeria is like a man sitting by the riverside and he still finds it difficult to get water to bath. Chiliogo Sankara. This one is from Dan in Ikorodu, says, even if importing second-hand clothing is illegal, this proves that the customs had initially failed at one of its primary duties, and raiding shops in the absence of their owners is clearly an illegal act. I'm sorry, but roads alone would only slightly help us in Lagos. Henceforth, we need to commence simultaneous rapid roads on our works on our roads and as well as rails and on our waterways. This one.
Yeah, we paid too little attention to these things, he says.
Yeah.
There's never enough time on the big three, but not to worry. We've got more conversation coming up on Checkpoint, where Agogo is doing the final edition for 2019, talking to you about security in Lagos. Let's talk about those shanties that the young man called in to talk about when he was talking about where he works and the people who are around that place. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Agogo Obo.
Hard